As the euphoria of the overthrow of Hosni Mubarak becomes a somber analysis of the future of Egypt, Press Enterprise reporter David Olson interviewed members of a Coptic Christian Church in Norco to get their thoughts.
So, Father, tell me a little bit about, you said you had talked with your cousin who was in Tahrir Square. Tell me a bit about that conversation, what happened when you had called him in Cairo.
He described it as like an inspiration, and he's really seeing a new spirit happening. And the way he can describe it, he cannot really say it by any way except he will lie, unless if he be there to experience the Tahrir Square, especially in the latest movement after the Mubarak left.
What did he mean that there's no way to describe it, that he lying if he tried to?
Meaning there are too many emotional things that he cannot really describe it.
And Father, are you optimistic about the future of Egypt? Well, first of all, what were your thoughts about the future of Egypt before January 25th, and how did January 25th and the days following that change your view of the future of Egypt?
Before January 25th, we have the feeling of fear of many corruptions that happening in internal government and all the system that is existing. It was really give us unsecure feeling about our families and brothers and sisters that they live in Egypt. January 25th brought a hope, and we're praying to God that really give us this hope that the young generation, the youth, and the movement seeking for human rights, for an individual to receive his right as a human, as we have here in the United States, that you're right, you always can ask for it and you receive it. I have a great hope that this movement will go this direction.
Obviously, Christians are a minority in Egypt. What was it like in terms of living in it? I think you told me most of people in your neighborhood were Muslim. Did people get along fairly well?
Not really, because we don't really have freedom of religion in Egypt. Like, even though I was in a Christian private school, you still have to memorize the Quran, even if you're a Christian, and I still don't get the point why. We have a really bad educational system, and I heard that if I'm going to study medicine and all this stuff, the person who examines you, if he knows that your name is Christian, you won't pass.
Now, how about in terms of your personal relationships? Did you have Muslim friends, or?
Yeah, I had some Muslim friends, but the first number one rules in my school, it was we can talk in religion. Okay, we can play together, we're friends and all this stuff, but we cannot talk about religion.
Now, how about what does that mean in terms of the future of Egypt, do you think, with your experiences in Alexandria?
Yeah, I think what just happened the 25th of January will give us hope that we can stand as one nation, Christians and Muslims. And
why does it give you hope?
Because what happened, we fight it as a one nation, not as only Muslims or as only Christians. We fight as Muslim and Christians for our nation.
And what made you think that? What did you see that made you?
Because I saw in the images like people, Muslims and Christians. Christians was holding the cross and Muslims were holding the Quran. They were staying together next to each other and protesting with each other. And yeah, they shows. I don't know. I can't explain it. Okay. It was a really good feeling.
Okay, so you were born in the United States, right?
Yeah.
If I remember correctly. So what was it like? I know you said your parents were immigrants. What was it like for you to see the events in Egypt?
It was just really emotional because every time my mom or dad would turn on the TV, they would just start crying, and our family would just call us from Egypt. And it's hard hearing your cousin hiding under a table when she's calling you and terrified of what's going on outside. So it was just a very emotional event, I guess.
Your cousin was sort of nervous, though. Did she live in Cairo? Did she live in Cairo, or?
Yeah, she was born in Cairo. She came here, I think 3 years ago, And then she just went back. She went back 2 days before the whole thing began. So,
And what was her feeling at the beginning, and what was it as time went on?
You know, she was just terrified. She was terrified of what was going on. She was just scared for her life. She didn't know what to do. She wanted to come back here because our government is stable. We don't terrify people. We have separation of state and government, or state and religion, so we respect each other's boundaries.
She wanted Mubarak gone, but she was worried about what might happen, that there'd be violence and that
Yeah.
type of thing. Yeah.
I mean, she's very well educated, and she knows that the whole government is corrupt. So, I mean, she's happy Mubarak is out of office, but she's still nervous of what's to come.
And one more question now for you. You were obviously not born in Egypt. What was it like for you as an American whose parents are Egyptian, but who was born here? What was it like for you to see that? All these images on television.
It's cool because you see like a revolution and things changing, but I mean, it's still scary because, like, you know, like I said, you don't know what's to come. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if, you know, things are going to change or if things are going to end up exactly the same, just with a different dictator.